Welcome again to this Collider screening series Q&A for Place of Bones. It is my great honor to introduce the star of the movie, Heather Graham. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks to Collider for having this screening. It means a lot to an independent film for you guys to show our film. So
thank you for being here. Seriously, this one is something else. I am always eager to sign up for a really good genre-bending movie, and you got one right here. I wanted to start by going back to the very, very beginning. When this project first comes your way, what was it about Place of Bones that made you say to yourself, this is something I need right now as an actor evolving my craft?
Well, I really like the script. I think it always starts with a script. And it's funny because I have two of my girlfriends here tonight, and I was talking to them and I said, I want to play more of a badass character, somebody who's tough, because I feel like in life, I know that I'm a strong person, but I don't often get to play those kind of badass kind of, it's not exactly action, but I love the idea of, outsmarting these bad guys and being tough. So it was exciting to play that kind of role.
I will say, from my perspective, you had a 1-2 punch of badass movies between this and Suitable Flesh. Has anyone seen Suitable Flesh? You're so good in that. You and Barbara are my favorite in that. Cool. Going back to the beginning again with this one. So you sign up for the movie, you're getting ready for production. What part of making this movie were you most looking forward to? But then can you also tell me a part of making it that wound up being more creatively fulfilling than you ever could have imagined?
Well, it's funny because I'm totally, yoga, nonviolence, but it is fun to, carry a gun and shoot at these bad guys and it's fun and fall on the ground and shoot it. It was fun. It was fun.
I'll take that. How about something that surprised you while making the movie?
Well, it was freezingly cold. We had a really good DP. He's done a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies. So that was awesome when you don't have a big budget, having somebody shooting it that makes it look really cool. But we were freezing our butts off. We were in LA. You'd think, oh, it's not that cold. But, we were freezing. Freezing
and rainy, I hear, as well.
Yes.
Okay.
But maybe it helps us suffer. We're suffering, out there.
I mean, whatever you got to do to wind up with a movie like this. So, again, I called this movie genre bending at the beginning, and I know your filmography is filled with variety, but because I have this and Suitable Flesh on my mind, I see you doing a lot of horror right now. So is that a particular genre you find yourself drawn to most now? And if so, why that genre?
Well, I think there's a lot of great roles for women in horror, so I think that there's exciting parts, and I'm actually just about to go do another horror film.
Oh, I was reading about that one.
Which is called They Will Kill You. It's a really cool script. It's really, but yeah, as a woman in film, they tend to write great roles for women in horror.
Because you brought up that one, I'll just ask briefly, because this challenges you in one way. What is something about that new movie you're about to do that's going to challenge you in a way that you've never done before?
Well, once again, my girlfriend gang that's here, I used to say, I want to do action and I want to fight and I want to be a badass. So this new movie, there's a lot of action scenes, and it's cool because it's a lot of women fighting each other, women in these badass action fights together. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, I'm into that. It was Zazie Beetz and Patricia Arquette.
Yes.
My God, what an ensemble right there. So getting into this character now, so it's a little bit of a complex question here, but obviously we're not going to spoil what the mystery is here, but there is a mystery at play. So it was making me wonder, when you play a character like this, do you have to come up with some sort of anchor for her so that all of her decisions are made in some sort of consistent truth and that in the end, that reveal makes sense?
Yeah, I think it's survival. I think for my character, I've had a very bad past, especially with men. And so I feel that I'm protecting my daughter, and that's the most important thing. And, I work with this acting coach called Warner Lachlan, and I just made up all the memories of my past and my husband. And, I think I'm keeping her safe, But obviously, when you watch it, you go, maybe there's a better option. But I believe that, it's safe and we're out in nature and, I want to keep her safe from all the bad things that I experienced.
Oh, I have 2 follow-ups. I love talking about acting coaches because I feel like we don't talk about that enough. Can you tell me something specific about Werner, I think you said, that you think best aligns with how you like to receive notes and coaching?
Well, she has this really cool technique, and it's basically that, we talk together about all the significant memories from your life, because you think as a human, different things shaped you. Like something happened to you when you were 5, and something happened to you when you were 9, and something happened when you were 15, and coming up with those formative memories and in your imagination, just really picturing it, and that kind of forms who you are, and doing that for the different characters that you play. It's really creative and fun.
Can you give us a specific thing you came up with for this character that we might not see or hear about directly in the movie, but we could still feel informing your performance?
Well, I think that my father was horrible, basically, right? So, and then I think I chose this good man, but it's this idea that the world is cruel and that I want to protect my daughter from ever experiencing what I experienced. So I feel like even if she's, lacking human interaction, at least she's not, in an abusive situation.
I'm coming back to her in a minute because her performance was something else in this. But first, I wanted to reference something that I heard Audrey say in an interview. She mentioned that the entire cast did this, that everyone came up with backstories and came to her with questions about their characters. So it was making me wonder, what was the biggest burning question you had for Audrey at the beginning in terms of how to bring Brendor to life in the movie?
Well, I mean, with the money, of course, I was asking Audrey, well, why don't I want the money? Why I could take this money and we could do something with it. But I think that my character just has this deep religious faith. And for me, what I related to was just this idea of being in nature, whether or not, Corin's character is saying you're in the middle of nowhere and it's horrible. But there is a part of me that could understand an into the wild, like you're in nature and just being in nature.
How would you fare off the grid?
No, I have had off the grid fantasies. Obviously I couldn't, wouldn't do it, but I wouldn't do it. But there's this idea of, I think it's all about my daughter in the movie. I just want her to have a better life than I had, basically.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. I'm going to stick with Audrey for a minute. First, what is something unique about her as a director? Maybe something that speaks to how this movie is uniquely hers in a way that no other director could have made it this way.
Well, she loves genre movies. There's a lot of women and they want to tell more, female stories, but she loves an action, horror, thriller, drama, exciting genre film. And she's tough and I mean, she's beautiful and, she's so fun. I wish she was here. I wish you had a chance to talk to her because you guys would love her. She's really cool.
I'll happily sing her praises a little more because she's not here right now. So you go into this working with her. I'm sure.
I watched another film that she did that also had a female kind of crazy character that was really real and she's good at suspense.
So knowing what she was capable of from that other film, is there anything you saw her do on this set that still made you go my God, I knew you were going to be good, but I never realized you were capable of that?
Well, it's cool because seeing it on a big screen, I had watched it on my computer before. So it was fun watching it with you guys. You're a great audience. And just, the performances that she got. And Corin definitely ad-libbed a lot of funny things. And there was moments where I was like, Corin, shut up, Because he added so many lines. I'm like, stop trying to milk your performance. But then I'm like, he's great, It's you can really see that he has a great sense of humor that brings a lot to the movie.
Oh, I'll follow up on that. Is there a scene that changed the most from script to screen because of what he brought to it in the moment?
Well, I mean, I was always in the script saying stop talking, but in the scene I'm like, stop talking, and then he's making these noises, and I'm like, no noises, because he just can't stop talking. He's really funny, so he would always make up all this funny stuff, but he literally he loves talking.
Is very effective in this movie here. Back to Audrey really briefly. So we talked about her as a director more broadly, but I'm very I wanted to focus on her work as an actor's director specifically. Is there anything she did for you that, you think helped you exceed your own expectations for your work in the film?
I think she helped me because sometimes as an actor, you're not sure if something's coming across, so you might be too big, And so I think she helped me bring it down into more real and, just trust that it was there without trying to act too much.
With that in mind, going into filming, which scene did you think was going to be the toughest for you to pull off? And ultimately, was it, or did a different one catch you by surprise?
Well, the scene at the end, it's disturbing, whatever. Everything in that scene is just so disturbing. But in reality, the hardest thing was that, I hate being cold, and it was freezing. It was so cold on the set. And then this is probably too much information, but the bathrooms were, really far away. And we were, wearing these really uncomfortable clothes, and it was, raining and muddy. So we'd be like, don't drink tea. People were like, do you want tea? And we'd be like, no, tea means pee. You gotta walk all the way over there and pee. It's, too far.
Feels like that should be the tagline of the movie, but it would be so inside baseball now.
We'd be like, tea means pee. Don't have that tea. No.
I mean, I kind of get it, though. How about when it comes to some of the physicality that the role calls for? Was there anything in particular that, was toughest for you to get right and in a believable, lived-in way?
To be honest, I feel like I don't often get to do stuff like that, so I love it. I'm pretty athletic, so running and falling. I remember the day that I did that scene, actually, my boyfriend was there. I was running, and I fell over, and then all the stunt guys cheered for me, and I was like, oh my God, all the stunt guys cheered for me. I fell over. Because they had a stunt girl ready to do it, and I'm like, this is easy. I just fell over, and so I felt like I had stunt cred.
I'll take that.
Okay.
What kind of standoff scene do you find most difficult? One where it's kind of long range and you can't see your scene partner, or something really intense like what happens with Tom at the end of the movie?
Well, I mean, it's very disturbing thinking of him abusing my daughter. I'm like, that's so. But yeah, thinking about shooting guys was fun.
When you're filming something like that, what is the key to kind of putting you in the zone when I imagine you cannot see what you are calling out to in the distance?
I mean, it is a terrifying idea. I mean, we are in a fort, but the idea that they're coming toward us, we don't really have a good amount of guns and support. Normally in Westerns, women don't fare so well. Either they're being killed or they're a prostitute, or they have basically nothing to do because they're the wife, and they're just like, honey, be safe, So I'm really grateful that they wrote a Western with some good female roles.
Two good female roles. I'll go to Brielle next. I guess first, obviously you've had great success as a young actor coming up in this industry, but I love the idea that with each new generation, there's a different energy, a different set of techniques. So is there anything you saw her do on this set that made you go my God, I can't believe at that age you have the courage to do this?
Well, it's cool because when we were acting and I was in character, I saw it one way, but then watching it, I saw all the nuances of what she was doing, and I like how she's real, because I think a lot of young actresses, they're try to be appealing or try to look good, and I feel like she was just really raw. And I mean, of course, she is really beautiful, but she's just really real and raw, and she did an amazing job.
Oh, you feel it while watching. I'll open this question up to
she's
the
also I appreciate the humor, even though this is a dark movie and it's kind of scary and thriller. I do appreciate the moments of humor, and I appreciate her humor.
Is that humor something that you're aware of on set? Because I loved standing in the corner just now and hearing everybody's reaction to the end.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be such a big laugh, but I'm glad people got a laugh.
It's a defense mechanism thing. It's a sign of an effective horror beat.
Yes, yeah. I mean, it's a freaky ending, but I'm glad that it was. People seem to find it funny. I don't know.
Did you have any conversations with Audrey on set in terms of tone and getting that kind of, I guess, a little touch of humor, but the horror and the tension of it all blended together well?
It was in the script, and she gave me, there was some sort of Stephen King story, and she told me about, which I shouldn't say because it'll give away the spoiler, but just how things are not what they seem. It was just how things are not what they seem. That's what I like about the ending.
Things are not what they seem, but then you figure out what happens in the end, and you go back and you rewatch it, and you see all the seeds planted all throughout.
Yes.
It's very effective. Yes. I wanted to make sure to ask about the production design here, because this location is essentially their entire world. Is there anything you saw in the production design that maybe informed who she became?
Well, they built that house on this ranch, and it's near Magic Mountain, and basically there's no insulation, and it was, freezing in there. It was like, if I already said, it was like, we could see our breath and we were dying. It was just, and in the middle of the day it would get warm and it was nice or whatever. But, it's a rough life living with no central heating. Or plumbing,
Every once in a while I play a filmmaking would you rather game. Would you rather shoot on location in a really, really cold environment or a really, really hot environment?
Everyone who knows me knows that I prefer a really, really hot environment.
Okay, I'll take that, and I'll agree with that. I'll ask you one more would you rather question, because this is
Okay.
one of my favorite ones. It has nothing to do with the movie, it's just for fun. Would you rather have to fake sneeze or fake vomit in a scene?
Fake sneeze, I guess. Though, yeah, fake sneeze.
But can you? That's always the follow. Okay. Do we approve?
I don't know.
Okay. I'll take it. So I just brought up the production design, and I want to expand that even bigger to the entire company.
By the way, Audrey and the DP were living in that house until they realized that it was so uncomfortable that they couldn't live in the house. But they tried to get in the world and live in the house.
I have so many questions about that now. Like they started production.
Well, there was
there.
a real house that was like a 5-minute drive away, but they tried to live in the house that we shot in until they didn't realize that was way too uncomfortable.
Did you ever have the itch to do it, even for a night yourself?
No.
Are there any particular details in the main house that you hope people catch on second viewing? Something like teeny tiny, but speaks to who they are and their history.
Well, I mean, the stained glass window, just wanting to have something of beauty in this place that's really harsh. I mean, for me and my character, it's all about my daughter, you know. That's the most important thing.
Oh, yeah. And that connection is palpable. So broadening it even more from the production design, and I'll preface this question by saying every single person who works on a film is of the utmost importance. Movies don't get made unless it's a huge team effort and everyone's collaborating together. Can you name an unsung hero of Place of Bones? Someone who, you know, helped you out on a tough day, someone's name that we don't often get to hear, but they deserve credit for their work.
I mean, the people I always really appreciate on sets are the assistant directors, you know, and the PAs, the people that make everything run, and just, I love, pretty much always just love the first AD, the second AD, the third AD. They're just always so fun, and they make your day more fun.
I'm here to support PAs all day long.
Yeah.
Definitely unsung heroes on pretty much every single production.
Also hair and makeup. I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you stay? It was, you know, they're waiting. They're trying to make, well, not really look good, but they're trying to help you look in character, you know. But everyone, I mean, that's the great thing about movie making is all the different creative people that help make it good.
If you could learn even more about one single role on a film set, what would you choose and why?
Well, I really want to understand editing more. And I was just talking about this with my friend who's actually really good at it, but I would love to be able to edit things myself. I think that's just an important skill. It makes or breaks a movie.
Oh, without a doubt.
And also my
especially
friend who's a great
movie.
DP is here. I mean, I think being a great, you know, how you shoot it, it makes you feel things. And even, you know, your acting matters, but if you don't have a great DP putting the audience in the right feeling, it, you know, doesn't, a great actor can't. The DP is as important as the actor, I think.
Oh, without a doubt. Do you want to shout out your
Oh yeah,
friend?
Steven Fierberg.
Okay.
Hi. He wasn't the DP
No.
for this movie, but he's a great DP.
I like hearing names I'm unaware of because then I seek out their work.
Yeah.
So I'll look it up now. When you look back on the filming of this movie, is there any specific memory from making it that you think will always be on the top of your mind?
Well, we were right by an airport, so airplanes kept going by our head. And so Audrey would just, I don't know if I can curse or whatever, but she'd be like, fuck, you know, because like this, we'd be doing a scene and they'd be like, vroom, you know, and she's like, you know, it's a period movie, you can't really have airplanes going by. But we were in the path of like a lot of airplanes. That was one of our main problems.
Okay. So the cold in the airplanes, I get that.
I mean, just the small details. We had these little like power bar that were called like no sugar bars. Like we were like living for our no sugar bar. We're like, do you have one? Do you have? It's like a drug. Like, do you have a no sugar bar? You know.
What kind of bars are they?
It's
Now
like
I kind of want to know.
She's Canadian, and we would all be like, do you have one? I have the mint chocolate. No, I have the peanut butter chocolate.
Did you swap them too?
We would
I feel like
swap
it's
them.
like
And
a
we have it in
like you
our
play poker or
pocket
something.
of our like warm jackets. We'd be like, do you have one? And we'd be like, yeah.
I feel like now every set needs that to create a little urgency.
It's like a little
to
treat,
play and
you know?
trade.
Yeah.
Leaving this movie, did you gain a new acting tool for your toolkit, so to speak, that you would be eager to put to use on another film even more in the future?
Well, I guess every time you work on a movie, you learn something, and I'm just grateful I get to do it. You know, sometimes it's weird to watch yourself, but I'm grateful to get to do what I love. It's awesome.
Is there anything new you learned here that you had never done before?
Well, like I said, it's good to be I think in a lot of times women in movies have to be like, help me, save me, or they get killed or something terrible happens to them and you're watching like women be abused in movies. So it's just fun to be not have that happen, you know?
The two of them are so fierce and so in control,
it's good
and
to have,
I couldn't
like,
get enough of
fierce
it.
female characters that are as interesting as the male characters.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So as we start to wind down here, I like finishing on my absolute favorite question.
Okay.
Some people in this audience know it, and I always warn everybody, nobody really likes answering this question, but I think it's important. In Hollywood, people give each other awards. That's super cool. I think we should keep doing that. I find that nobody tells themselves good job enough, though. Can you tell me something you accomplish in Place of Bones that you know you'll be able to look back on and say, I am so proud of what I did there?
Well, I had a Western accent. That was real fun. No.
It's not easy, though.
No, it was fun to learn how to do that. And by the end of the day, you just start doing it all day. And then you do it with your friends. You just can't stop doing it, you know?
Before I let you go, I'll dig into the accent a little bit to highlight the work that went into that. First question about that is, what was the most difficult part? Like a most difficult like tone or phrasing or specific word that you had to pick up naturally?
Well, you know, luckily Corin really has like a cool accent. He's a real cowboy, so he brought the authenticity of that. But we work with a dialect coach, and we had these things that I would listen to every day, and just like the R's and everything, and I don't know, it's fun.
And now leaning into what you just said before of all of the verbiage and the tone you picked up here, which did you have the toughest time shaking after the movie was over, where you caught yourself speaking like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most attractive accent, but you know, no, I mean, honestly, it was just fun to be tough and like defending my house and my daughter, and it was fun to play that.
Okay. I'm in for a Place of Bones sequel. I need to see where they go next in their journey. Okay, cool. I think there's a lot of people who might want that. Before this gets drowned out by applause, I want to remind everyone in the theater that Place of Bones is going to be available in theaters and on digital on August 23rd. And like you said earlier, like independent filmmaking is so important, and the way that we boost it and the way that we get more movies like this made is by spreading the word. So please do tell everybody you know about this movie. Heather, I'm going to say huge congratulations and thank you for sharing some of your experience with us.
Thanks for coming tonight, you guys. I appreciate it. Yeah.